Hi, my name is Carrie Hansen, and I'm going to be going over the 6 historical milestones leading to the modern diet. First one is the agricultural revolution. I think most would agree that the agricultural revolution had an overall negative impact on our health. Around 12,000 years ago, our ancestors learned how to grow crops and raise animals for their own consumption. Farming meant a more reliable way to get food more than hunting and gathering, giving humans a greater chance of survival. Even though more life was sustained, there was a decline in quality of life, and people were overall less healthy. Diets were less diverse and more reliant upon starches like wheat and corn. This change increased the incidence of infectious disease and nutritional deficiencies, as well as contributing to an overall reduction in human stature. Introduction of refined sugar. If we all know that sugar isn't good for us and has no nutritional value, then why does the average American consume anywhere from 150 to 200 pounds of sugar in 1 year? 200 years ago, the average American ate only 2 pounds of sugar each year. Our ancestors consumed little to no sugar until about the 1600s, when it was introduced and mostly consumed by the wealthy. As the cost produced to increase, as the cost to produce it decreased, the more and more people incorporate into their diets. Today we find hidden sugar in most processed foods like condiments, crackers, bread, soups, cereals, cured meats, and peanut butter. Because of the overconsumption of refined sugar today, incidences of people with tooth decay, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and obesity have significantly increased. The Industrial Revolution. The beginning of the Industrial Revolution in 1750 meant major changes to the way people lived, worked, and ate. There was a shift from manpower to machine power, and people began to move away from where their food was produced to cities where they could simply buy what they needed instead of growing it themselves. This led to less physical labor and a weaker connection to the food. Food became more convenient, which meant more processed and less nutrient-dense food. The Industrial Revolution had a significant impact on the population, almost doubling the population from 700 million to 1.2 billion from 1750 to 1850, and exponentially growing to today's total of over 7 billion people. To keep up with the growing population, food production needed to rapidly increase. Along with the growing amount of processed and convenient foods was the rise of big food in the late 1800s, early 1900s. A small number of massive food companies, including Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nestle, Kellogg, and Post, dominated this production and the sale of food and drink to consumers. While some companies started with the intention of creating health food, what resulted were unhealthy, cheap products, often full of salt, sugar, and fat, in an effort to improve flavor. These products were also more addictive. Health, nutrition, ethical practices, and sustainability were not priorities, with money, control, and influence on the market the primary focus. We eat these foods, get hungry again, and buy more, a cycle putting consumers at high risk of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. This can be avoided by being more mindful consumers. Another milestone highly influencing the way we eat was World War II and the chemical revolution. Food was altered to be lighter, more convenient, and more shelf-stable. Soldiers got used to the convenience of eating meals out of a can, and consumers at home got used to the convenience of prepared and frozen foods. Even though processed foods were easy and delicious, they lacked nutrients. Chemicals began being used extensively for both production and preservation. Chemicals used in the war were put into use as fertilizers and pesticides on crops. Food produced and preserved with these methods is not nourishing and leaves people with lingering hunger, promoting them to eat more. Unhealthy weight gain and other health problems closely follow. We all love the latest technology, right? The final milestone I'll be explaining is the digital revolution. Everything we want in life seems to be just a click away and can be at our doorstep within hours. Though many who enjoy and have become reliant on technology are likely to declare all the positives of this convenience, questions arise about the impact that technology may have on the way we move, sleep, work, and live. The more digital media we take in, the more sedentary we become, and the more disconnected we become to those around us. This may result in weight gain and greater isolation from family and friends. As with most areas of our life, finding balance is critical. Becoming more aware of how we use digital technology and using it to increase knowledge can be powerful tools to living a healthier and more abundant life. I hope you enjoyed this lecture on the milestones of the modern diet.